Welcome back, ladies and gents, to DreamHack Open Anaheim. And we are going into the second map of this affair. And you know what? North, they had a horrible start on the first map, but they showed great resilience and they managed to battle back and have a very respectable fight. They did end up losing though, but I feel like that's the best way they could go into the second map because they started to really have some great plays and they started to fire up individually. So I feel like going into Mirage, we're going to see a really fun game here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because there's not much data to be had on Mirage for either of these teams. I think the only time that Gen.G's played with Ben 10 on Mirage was a loss to Chaos in the Anaheim qualifiers in an online environment. And then North, I know, had a really close loss against Mad Lions at Leipzig. And I think that's really about it. And what's also interesting is I feel like this is the map that had the most dramatic changes of all the changes we saw recently, like with the Dust 2 skyboxes and the train skyboxes at Ivy. Mirage is much more significant, you know, changing the way that you can kind of exit B apartments as a T, and also that bench position that allows you to be able to self-boost into window. It also gives you better angles on watching cat aggression from CTs as part of your mid control, and it gives a lot more power, I feel like, to the attacking side of this map, much more so than they already had. And I felt it was already a map where you could get a lot done on the T side, and I think they're being gifted even more access. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because this is kind of one of the first times I think we're going to see this new Mirage played because I'm pretty sure Leipzig was still the old version of Mirage, and I think Blast was also using the old version of Mirage still. So I don't know if this is for sure the first map on the new Mirage in like an official match setting, but it might be, or certainly one of the first, and so we might be learning some new things.
Yeah, I'm personally, I really hate the new bench, at least.
I do too. I'm not a fan.
I think the short of it for me is that I think it actually affects Pug and casual Counter-Strike more than it does Pro. That's my prediction. Because I think in terms of Pro Counter-Strike, that bench, you could already get into the window if you wanted to. Like, you could already do that pretty quickly in a variety of ways. Obviously, it does require that extra man. But what it, I think, truly does is weakens the CT Cat player a lot. That position now is a lot more risky. But it looks like we will be going into this pretty shortly, and this is going to be a slobber knocker. I think both these teams are ready and raring to go here as we move into Mirage. North versus Gen.G here, the semifinals, first semifinals of the day. Both teams looking for a spot in that grand finals. And with Gen.G, they're going to start off on the T side. They will be dictating the pace off of the pistol.
Yeah, pistol round, as you said, already that smoke coming into windows. They want to get some mid-control to kick things off on the pistol. They do have one player towards the apartments. All the rest looking to come at catwalk. It looks like it's going to be a fast B split. Kirby is going to spot it pretty much right away, but can he get the hell out of there? So far, so good on staying alive, but can he find the frags? He does indeed find a couple. Gate also coming in, but it all shakes up into a 2v2.
MSL prodding from the window. He's going to go straight through, actually. He's going to catch automatic. Wasn't quite ready, but the P250, the controlled, disciplined play with the P250 is enough. And automatic will lock it down. That's the pistol again, going to Gen.G off the bat. What did North have to say about that?
And that's a tough one, because they even had a couple of nice kills from Kirby early, where I thought maybe they were actually going to hold on to this. But automatic just too clean with the P250. Juicy one taps there. Hat trick to open things up. Gen.G trying to make it an All-Americas Grand Final. Of course, Fury and Complexity, the next one, kind of guarantees just that one team from the Americas, so to speak, will be there, though Complexity obviously has a lot of European players. And Gen.G could make sure that we have all of the Americans we could possibly have in the finals. Does automatic catch that kill. Kirby, though, with a nice nade, is going to be able to get in there and get some damage done, but Sam brings the odds back over to Gen.G.
Yeah, ready to fight, ready to trade for his teammate. And it's looking pretty good so far for Gen.G. Playing into A, up the A ramp specifically, can be quite turbulent when you're playing against a force buy or even an eco round, because A stacks seem to be fairly common in these situations. But Gen.G, they don't have any fear. They just make their way through in contact style, and it works out very well for them. Only losing automatic. And Gade and AZ deciding to hold on to what they have, playing once again the soft exits, not committing to getting the exit kills. If they are provided, then they'll be happy to take them, but not going too hard for that. And Gen.G will know that they're going to be up against an eco round in the following round, so there's a variety of ways they could play that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a fast B or even just the same contact A again.
I'm sure they're going to want to try to get as much as they can out of that MAC-10 that Das is going to have in his possession. Som even buying one as well, wanting to try to print some extra money. So, yeah, contact plays are faster pushes. Just trying to get those MAC-10s in the faces of these CTs to get that extra cash is definitely going to be an objective, I would imagine, that Gen.G will hunt after.
Well, making its way towards the A side of the map here as Gen.G do go for fast control in mid. Mid, obviously, there's not really much to contest with in terms of north. Wow, just some pistols. Yeah, it's a nice open. And they will have that split ready and raring to go straight through Palace, straight through Connector, and indeed, you can't stop this. It's just brute force of the MAC-10s, just like you said, Dust, getting in the face of their opposition, and North are helpless.
Not much you can really say about this other than just the expected result, I think, for many of us is taking place here. Gate able to get one down, but that's going to be really about it. And to be honest, most people are looking to upgrade their weapons anyway off the MAC-10, so it's not really going to do that much economic damage getting that frag. Now we're finally into the first gun round, and again, Gen.G, I've only seen them play this map once. It was a loss to Chaos, but in that game, they actually did have a pretty good T side, a good balance of being able to play typical mid-control defaults, but being able to mix in the faster pace 1-4, 2-3 split plays when need be. They were also really good at using consistent smokes at middle, at window and cat, to always mask their movements, to kind of create that kind of presence at mid, but not always actually be at mid. But you have to respect that they could be because the smokes are in your face on cat, and what they've used with these smokes for is actually to get Som very quickly into ladder room. So they've got a lot of presence all across the map. Not only do they have mid, but now they have connector and they have ladder. That gives you a lot of options early.
All right, well, it slows down after that initial control in mid. We would have expected Gen.G to start building out into the next phase of the rounds, and Automatic will make his way up catwalk. It looks like they may want to get Automatic to actually poke in towards the B bomb site with the AWP as well. That's an option to try to pick into that site. MSL playing catwalk, or rather playing ticket. That's actually such a sick shot. I don't know how that's not a leg, actually. This is basically all he can see on his screen. Great shot from MSL with the AWP. He also takes down the bomb.
Right.
And they have to smoke now to go and retrieve it. So that
actually leaves them with no smokes left, Dan.
Yeah.
So actually getting onto a site and using a smoke to block off some type of, choke point or angle is not going to be an option. They have to rely on flashes and Molotovs to do that now. And they have to do it behind in numbers, and it continues to pile on as MSL again with the AWP through Connector finds his second kill of the round. KRB also, of course, playing his role in all of this. Kusta able to get that bomb picked up from the back of Catwalk, but again, it's still just 2 Ts left. They're going to try to reroute their way back through T-spawn towards the A side. There's still 2 members on the side to defend, with the one up close on A ramp. That could be a real problem.
Yeah, this is interesting. Gen.G is close. Oh, that's a great entry from Benta. Don't know how he gets that. Obviously, he does get dinged in the process. MSL from CT, and as you noted, there's no smokes here to cut off any vision, and there's no timer left either. And I've got to say, it's a very weird round in the sense that Automatic, it seemed like he was going to be the playmaker, but he wasn't really in a position to do anything when he went down. So I'm not sure what Gen.G were after. It looked like they were going to go for a cat play because they didn't really have control anywhere else, and they were holding. Normally that spot that they were in, you would expect them to build out into something else, rotate out, but they were committing into catwalk, and then once Automatic died, it was all over. Yeah,
it hurt that they had to burn a smoke just to get the bomb back, and just got picked off too much. Now they're going to, again, pretty quickly go into something else. They're going to get an A set piece in. What I like about this is it allows Bentet to be more active. Bentet, on default, has to play a lot of B apartments and not really active positions, but when you go for these set pieces, that's when he can flex his aim and help you trade frag your way into a site.
Gen.G there on the ninja position. MSL is going to get taken down, trying to play out of the smoke from CT, not working out. Gen.G saw the best he can do to get one frag there. And now it's really a retake scenario for North. They are locked out of the bomb site. Plenty of time to get that bomb planted. Goes down straight away. Smokes dissipate. But Gen.G already backed off into post-plant positions. They're mostly towards A ramp, actually, which, if there are a couple mollies, which there is at least one, and a smoke, they can block off these choke points to retake quite effectively. Automatic has to go forwards here. He's got to make a move because he's burning alive at the moment. And in goes Kirby in the flames to cover his position as he pushes forwards. Kirby's now locked down A ramp. Som's really the only one that can do anything here. And, these post-plant positions are not working out. The late lurk from Kusta, that's all they had. And that doesn't work either.
That is actually really surprising. I thought that long con play from Kusta could be very effective, but the problem was too many players went down on his way around. Great retake here from Gade and company, just so good, particularly Gade. Big kills, because Gen.G ran a nice execute there. They had great timings, great entries. I think Automatic had the opening op pick, and then Kusta found a great timing out of the Palace. You know that he's at default A player. He's really good at finding those timing windows to step out and take peeks. And he got the kill he needed, and they had everything going their way, but Gade had different plans.
And they needed to control something other than A ramp. I think that was the big problem there.
That or you know, had the bomb planted in such a way that Kusta's, you know, long con play, I guess you could call it, up connector could still, you know, have an effect. But
yeah,
again, too many numbers lost before Kusta get into position, and the bomb was not planted for him, I don't believe. They're going to go back for a bit of a fake towards A. They're going to set up the same kind of smokes towards stairs and jungle, but they're not actually going to hit off of it. So maybe they'll pull a rotation and help free up something else, as they do have a couple players in B apartments and a couple back middle.
Wow. North are holding on to their utility. North have not thrown a single smoke yet. North have 5 smokes left still. So that fake, another point of it in throwing those nades over is to get rid of North utility. They still have max utility. On this round, if you go for the A take as a tease, the CT side, if they have utility, it's insanely hard to stop the retake. So North in a great spot as Daps comes up. The mid boost, can he get anything out of that? They're going to go switch it up into that B play. Gaze behind the smoke here. That's a beautiful position. We'll get traded out though. And things descend into madness. Kirby finds a spot during the madness to get into a very forward position. They had no idea, and now the bomb is down on the ground. They do have time pressure, 20 seconds to plant it, and a smoke defensively thrown. More space to play around as Kirby just holds the bench position. Oh, what an angle as well against the van. There's nothing that they can seemingly do to de-position these CT players. Now it's just Daps. He's got 10 seconds to retrieve the bomb or to kill everybody, and it does not look like that is possible at this point. North, what a recovery in this round. Beautiful stuff from them.
Indeed, almost a team ace. Just great work, particularly from Kirby. Him kind of being able to slither his way in to that site, stop that bomb plant. A very big kill to grab, and just through and through, very effective stuff. They didn't let Dapses, you know, jump into window, get them. Everything went their way. That's a big round for North now. It's 3 on the board, the last 3 in a row to be exact. And money has finally run out for Gen.G. They're going to have to just work with these pistols and the 1 AK on Daps. He is the one guy that also has head armor. Still going to open up fairly default, though. The only difference is Ben Tet isn't B apartments as he normally would be on default. They have Som playing that position with the Deagle, as maybe he had the better spawn and wanted to see if he could get a timing with this Deagle, but smokes in his face and nade damage coming in as well. Doesn't really get an opportunity to put it to use.
I'm curious if we're going to see a continuing trend here in terms of North holding onto utility. I mean, Danish teams historically are pretty good at holding onto utility. I think Astralis, you know, they were obviously the first team that really showed us that they had this really efficient approach into not allowing the utility to just get baited. They're really good at reading, you know, what is a bait to try to draw out their utility. As we see this kind of eco round make its way forwards, doesn't look like it's going to really accomplish all that much. But yeah, let's look out for that. Let's check out those timings for North, because if you are able to hold on to a lot of smokes, what happens is that situation where we saw Gen.G lose the 5v3 post-plant, because in that situation, if you don't have forward positions on the A site, the retake from the CTs with the smokes locks you out of position and you can't do anything. So if North keep holding onto utility, they're going to be in great stead.
That's going to help you out with the retakes for certain. That's really going to make things pesky on Gen.G. As Gen.G again opening up fairly default here, trying to get that little bit of that mid control, and Som catching MSL, trying to do something a bit aggressive towards connector. And again, Som has been so damn good in the opening kill categories, in the opening duel success categories in this tournament for this team. Been one of their best performers. He had such a big game yesterday, I think it was, where he dropped like near 30 kills.
That's so funny as well. I mean, by the way, we can note here that AZ's, you know, obviously looking at that bench position. You get a nasty headshot angle to work with against the CT if you jump on top of the bench. So you got to change how you play catwalk now as a CT.
Yeah. I was actually referring to his big game against Complexity on Inferno. That was actually day 1 where he dropped almost 30 kills, 29 or 30. But yeah, crazy stuff anyway. Do see he's continuing to have some success there. Another SG kill there on the Cajun B.
Yeah, good pinch into that A-bomb site. Looking quite clean on the trades into completion of the bomb plant, and round win, as at this point there's no position to work with for the remainder of North, who will try to hold on to what they can. It's going to be interesting to see if Gen.G can actually take a dominant look at their T side here, due to the fact that I think we've seen a few holes. I think compared to Dust 2, feel like they looked more prepared, but they did get a really solid start. And there's a lot more chance for North to throw a wrench into the works. That's one of the reasons why Mirage, I think personally, is a bit more interesting, because on Dust 2 as a CTs, you get very few options to disrupt the other team's default. Whereas on this map, you can take aggressions in pretty much every single position. You know, mid, underpass, B apartments, palace, A ramp. You can aggress every single position as a CT. So it gives you a lot more options to be gimmicky.
That's just Sam, dude, just catching MSL out. That's such a big kill to get, and just continues on. Again, we just talked about how Sam has really just had so much impact for this team throughout this tournament.
Opening up with another standard default, Gen.G. 1-3-1. Their A player is playing Palace. And there is an A ramp investigation, actually. North has vision of A ramp, so that's, I mean, they understand there's a default, so they pretty much know there's someone in Palace right now. And when you take A ramp control, if you know they're running a default, someone has to be in one of those.
And look at the reaction. MSL has an angle with an AWP now actually towards Palace, so if he can actually keep that spot, you know, Gen.G holds forward on A ramp, they can really disrupt an A split. The only real problem is if it's heavy numbers connector, those two players kind of are off the board for now, and it's really going to come down to that stairs player Kierby to really try to limit this A split. But there it is. MSL does find out Kusta, and Gen.G still also in position. His feet have been spotted by Automatic, though, who will now pop flash his way through, but it's not going to happen. This defense from North at A has held firm on all fronts. And now it's up to Sam, who's just trying to ninja his way through window room to try to see if he can't blow this round up. But right now, North looking firm control of it.
Yeah, it's really a gamble that's worked out so well for North, but maybe there's a chance here. Som able to pick off Kierby. 30 seconds to go. They've got to be very decisive in this position. And is it going to be towards B? It will be. Up catwalk, just running it past the pillar. There's two players on the side. They've got to get kills pretty much immediately, and they do get both kills. This Daps now in the clutch. He's got time for the plant. He's got time for a post-plant position. However, he doesn't have that information as to where the opponents are coming from. He's got to make calculated estimates. And he's going to be checking that market door to begin with, and the window is up for grabs. They can jump out of that, and they can also, of course, come apartments or catwalk. So Daps is really in a nasty spot, has to try to take a fight. He's got to get 1v1s. He will, but he won't be successful. Good effort. They did manage to get something out of a dire situation, but it will be another round on the board for North.
Yeah, that bomb plant certainly is going to help things out a lot economically for them. It gives them options to actually get a full buy in this next round. And again, as you noted, it was looking like they were going to get nothing out of that, and they actually got a couple of key kills through B and actually got things going. So yeah, just a little bit of a different setup with MSL's AWP. Just, you know, taking that forward positioning at A, denying those routes to Gen.G. It does get them their round, and we are going to see Gen.G. Automatic is going to find that AWP, a Galil for Som. Definitely some money to be spent on the rest of the players as well to get fully decked out. Tactical timeout coming in from Daps, trying to see what they want to call. And it's mostly just been, you know, kind of relying on that mid-control default. And again, Daps as an in-game leader throughout his career, that really is kind of what he's known for. He is kind of one of those default-oriented in-game leaders. He likes to build that foundation first and then kind of start throwing things in. But I think with this team, because you have Bentet playing B apartments a lot on defaults, I think you need to find ways with different split plays or set pieces to get him more involved. Because I feel like you want to flex his aim. I feel like you want to flex his skill. And so I think that setting up maybe him in middle a bit through underpass or something, or going for set pieces will allow that to happen. So we'll see what they want to do.
So mix up here in terms of the default, a 1-2-2. Automatic showing some presence A ramp before leaving Kusta to press on the apartments, the Palace position. And MSL taking an off angle there from underpass. A bit more committed. See if it pays off for him as that smoke dissipates top mid. Ooh, that should force somebody out, but look at that stubbornness. Not getting forced out there. Is the smoke dropped? And some going high. Does he anticipate this angle? I'm not sure if they will, you know. MSL could be huge here in this round. This could be such a decisive moment in this round. MSL gets the peek, there's the flick, there's the rifle support, playing off of the contact. Kirby looking to keep MSL alive, but MSL is doing a great job by himself. North, with this slow and hidden mid-aggression, are going to come out with a 4v3 after all is said and done.
Yeah, big advantage here for North, and it continues to add up as MSL also finds Kusta yet again in that Palace position, just from a different angle. Now it's all on Bentet and Automatic. We know how flashy Bentet can be, but this is a tall task, but he is going to catch the CT unaware inside the murder hole. That's going to be Kirby down. Automatic and company now trying to see if they can shore up this B site. They do indeed find the entry on gate. Only one defender left standing. It's going to be MSL's AWP. He's already done brilliant work. Can he do more? Almost. He gets one, but now he's left it up to Gen.G in the 1v1 against Bentet. Now, Gen.G has had a few clutches already. He's one of the best clutchers in the tournament thus far. He needs to add another one to his name.
Bentet will drop the smoke there to create more problems for Gen.G, more guesswork at hand as Bentet rotates around to a great position this bench. You can jiggle this really effectively, cover a bunch of different positions. And there, speaking of which, Gen.G is going to go back and rotate through market, through the door. And Bentet again, he's got the better position here, and he anticipates it. Oh no, Gen.G, how has he managed to pull that one off? That is not what I expected to happen. Great stuff there from Gen.G. You set it up, Dust. He's been clutching so well this tournament and showing his experience. I think sometimes Cajun flies under the radar for a lot of people, but what a great performance from him.
He's a very underrated player. Again, he's not a star, he's not a massive volume fragger, but he's still a very serviceable support role player. He'll play spots when people don't want to play. He's very, experienced. He's that veteran. I think he showed some value on a withering away Cloud9 team when he was there. So I think he still has value, and that is his 5th 1vx of the tournament, which ties him for first place in that category.
Well, it's like MSL's looking to try to get the best AWPer of the tournament with the performances we're seeing in the recent rounds, opening up this one as well with an AWP pick. And Gen.G try to play contact, and it makes a lot of sense given that North haven't been throwing a lot of early counter utility. However, MSL was very ready for that. He was this time towards Ticket. And
he's been so good at moving around.
Yes.
I think that's where his starting locations are different each round, the way he's moving. Might not be the best aimer, but he's definitely very smart. Gets another kill on his way out.
That's half the battle, isn't it, with the AWP? It's all about position first, then how good you are executing afterwards. And that's a nice kill. Gen.G finishing it off there from Sandwich. Doesn't really seem like there's much that Automatic can do. Here's so many players coming his way, and he can't do a single thing. Great round from North. They've had some fantastic wins from that previous round where we had that mid setup, that delayed mid aggression. It looked like everything was cool, but then the trap was unleashed to the previous round where the info play comes in a ramp. And they then understand to make a setup for MSL and Palace to catch the default, as well as Cajun having a more forward A ramp. So they just know what's going on. North are making these small maneuvers that are really coming out huge in terms of the end result.
I think what also hurt Gen.G there is lack of utility. Normally they're a team that likes to molly sandwich and molly underneath the balcony and molly that bench area that people will sometimes push to get around that jungle smoke to disrupt an A attack, but they didn't have any of those nades at their disposal. And now they have to do more with less in this round. Just upgraded pistols. They try to barrel their way into B, and only one kill to their name thus far, but they do get the site, and they are going to get a bomb plant. That's kind of mission accomplished in my book, but can they somehow spiral it? Probably not, but we'll see.
Kirby once again does manage to force his way through to some position. This is a really difficult one for Gen.G. Couple of deagles, but maybe the pistols are enough. Kusta finds an upgrade with that CZ kill. Automatic peels away one more. Oh god, this is getting really bad. MSL gets quite a deagles as well. And that's why in that video, when they were talking about asking the players about anti-eco or playing ecos and winning eco rounds, that everybody just said, yeah, deagles.
Ouch. Not only did they have inferior firepower, which they weren't going to win that round, they also took a lot of damage on their way into B to get this bomb planted. So that, to me, made it seem like it was going to be a done deal, but some Automatic and company had different plans with those deagles. And now look at the repercussions. North on 5 USPs, a full save, nothing to work with. They're just going to push A ramp as a unit, and it's going to be a fast B play from Gen.G, so a build order loss, so to speak, on the round, and so Gen.G should be finding round number 6.
Absolutely, and what a huge moment to get that victory, because it really felt like North, again, I think I had just mentioned it before that had happened. They've been doing so many great maneuvers on this CT side to get the edges, to get the information, to set their players up. I loved what we've been seeing from MSL. I think it's hard not to love it. as you mentioned. There's so much. When you look at MSL, you're not thinking this guy has the raw skill of Simple, but what he's showing is just, if you understand how to position with an AWP because you're reading the game really well, then that's half the battle in getting the frags.
He did win the MVP award with North with an op at Stockholm.
Then he got kicked though.
So, I mean, you know, I'm just saying the guy every now and then with the AWP can make some magic happen.
And I think that was always the question as well. I think it kind of really hurt MSL in many senses because he was good. The whole point was like, I'm going to be an AWP for the team now. And there's been a lot of tournaments where someone will pick up the AWP for the first time, have a great tournament, but then once they get studied, people figure out the timings and angles they like to play, then it gets a lot harder after that first tournament. So I think that was the thing that was he never got to prove in his defense.
And luckily for him in this case, I mean, Yugi was having such a hard time that I think anything would have almost been better. And also they needed an in-game leader desperately. Yeah. Now it's actually double op in play, which no surprise to see AZ with it in his hands being that B player and the double uses the second opper for this team. Ooh, but oh my goodness, Daps so fast up catwalk edges Kierby. That is a big play to hit, but a great response from North. They pressure other areas, and MSL, the man himself we've been discussing, another multi-frag with AWP, might even find himself a third. No, never mind. Bintet, he's got different plans, and he's aware that he's got to worry about Palace, so he's on to it, but can he actually execute?
The weird thing now is that Davs is in ladder room, and so Davs can't they know that he was there as well. He can't really apply pressure to B at this point. You can see AZ's covering for that. So he's trying to figure out a way he can somehow help Bintet. He can't create space towards that B-bomb site, so Bintet has to commit at some point to A, and he's indeed incredibly smart, anticipates the wraparound, and now AZ's taken down Daps. 1v2 Bintet as he makes his way for the default plant here. He's going to commit to it, and you can't blame him for doing it. I think that's the only chance he's going to have at a plant. He's got to gamble it, and it's not going to work out. Good effort, but even better from North.
And that's what the hard part about A-bomb site Mirage. It's so open, and all the choke points are really wide, and there's no safe plant option unless you have at least one smoke grenade, or you know exactly where your opponents are, and you know that you can safely plant. That's one of the downfalls, I think, of trying to clutch on T-side Mirage when you're on that site. And it's just not going to happen, but full buys back up automatic really quick, but MSL's not having any of it, and he's ready for it. Yeah. He happened to be in that position this time around rather than being aggressive Palace or in connector. And so Anaheim's a bit unfortunate because of that.
I think that Gen.G are trying to punish. I was wondering if this would happen. They're trying to punish the fact that, as we mentioned before, North aren't really throwing early round utility at all. So they're trying to punish that by just saying, well, we're going to take that quick position then. Yeah. But the problem is that after showing some early round aggressions with the AWP, since then MSL's posted up to counter that. Having the AWP in ticket is the hard counter to contact A. So automatically just ran headfirst into that, and there's nothing that he can do.
Yeah, now Gen.G would have to use what numbers they have left to try to plow into this B bomb site all through the B apartments. They're trying to work their way in, but AZ has already found Bintet. Luckily, Sam at least able to find an opening or two for himself, where he's been so successful in those exchanges. They get to 3-on-3 post plant. Kusta now coming in as well onto Kierby, so just caging B and MSL and retaking B and Mirage, especially numbers down so hard.
Oof, Sam is really doing some damage here with that Krieg. My goodness, that sprint into the bomb site, Kusta finishes it off. Very nice stuff. And that is going to be a 7-8 finish for Gen.G. Very tight at the end of the first half. You guys will have to stay tuned and wait to see what happens after this break.
I used to think it was me. I used to think I did you wrong. You played those head games to me. I should have seen it all along. Now you tell all of my friends I'm a dog, but I'm just trying to get by. And don't you know that I could say I'm sorry, but it would not mean a thing. And you might think that I should say I'm sorry, but I'm not. But I'm not.
What is up, my Counter-Strike people? We are back into the second half of the second map, where North are doing their best to try to force this to a third map, as Gen.G did win that first encounter on Dust 2. However, now we switch sides. They are leading by 1. Can they make it by 2?
Ooh, we got a little fake set up, Dan. I like it. A couple of smokes would come out on A, and there's a lot of typical A executes you're going to see on pistol rounds, so this might certainly catch Gen.G off guard. They have 3 defending, and it's even worse because they're getting kills on the site as well. It's going to cause mass rotations to take place, and all the while, all the bomb is sitting in the B. I know we're getting kills on A. It's making it even worse. Then the fake is getting sold even better, but Sam actually does catch on right at the end, actually kills AZ and is getting into the site, funnily enough, so maybe there's still a hope for Gen.G.
Yeah, Som has been on fire in some of these recent rounds, and oh my god, he's going to annihilate Kirby. He didn't even know what happened. And they're going to tap the bomb here, and it's a rush for the North players to get back in. And Som and Bentet, do you want anybody else in these in a clutch situation for Gen.G right now? They've been absolutely owning it. Gade is going to swing through the apartments, making all the sound cues, and Som is going to drop him like, I don't even know what. That was nothing for Som. Som is giving me Stewie vibes right now.
Bro, the fact that Gen.G won that round is absolutely unreasonable. There is no way they should win this round. They're getting killed on the A side. It's a fake. They're hook, line, and sinker on it, but something stops Sam. He decides to turn around. He gets a kill in market, and then just... Oh my god.
I know. Dude, he's seriously giving me Stewie vibes. Just the kind of fast pace to his play style. Oh,
man.
The entry fragging, the kind of just how fast paced he is. It's very Stewie-like.
I can't... That's so crazy.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he can keep it going, because with that pistol victory, we're going to be seeing a force buy from North. They got that score. They got that bomb plant, which does let them have a very strong buy here, boosting into the window. And Kirby's got that Galil in hand. This is dangerous off of the back of that pick from MSL. And Som just barely gets that. Also rocking that silenced M4.
Dude, he's
very
in the
interesting.
Zone.
He really is.
He's absolutely on fire right now. I mean, just getting the big kill to even the numbers back up 4-4. AZ getting boosted into window. So they're trying to create some pressure over towards A side, but they also have their presence on Cat MB apartment, so they could really go either direction at this point. It seems like they're favoring the push-up catwalk into B side. Automatic might just catch it. Indeed, he does. Find Gate in the side, misses MSL, which allows him to get a kill on the Sam in the B site.
That's a huge kill too, because that was behind the bench. Som was really in a delaying position, and that's gone now. And it's up to Bentet to really deliver the frags, but they may go back to the A side. They have time to do that. They got, oh no, that's huge. Bentet finds the headshot. The bomb tried to commit towards that B bomb site, and it's not completely clear, but now it is. But Daps is going to swing, and he's had some time to get this rotation. I don't know if they know that he's here just yet, so there may be a timing that Daps could find. Oh, he's given away his position. Goes for the follow-up engagement. Knew where AZ was, but it was not enough, and North pick up the round off the back of the force buy, and that's going to crush Gen.G's economy. They got nothing in the tank left.
That's a tough one. It's just MSL able to slip by Automatic's op and get a big entry kill to scout onto B, and then we saw AZ using that window boost to his advantage, getting the backstab in through market, locking in the round for North. Now 9-8, so it's the 1-1 split to kick off the second half. And it's going to be the force buy wars now. It's the economic game of chicken. Who can win 2 rounds in a row first and force the other to concede and get the lead?
And I think seeing Kirby alone in this position, it does tell them quite a lot. There's a default being run. There's mid control for North. Once you see certain signs, you can pretty much put the rest together. Especially if the study has been done by your team analysts.
Yep.
So
worth noting that that's a new position for Kirby again. With Valda leaving the team, Kirby's taken over the outside A role on default, so you'll be seeing that a lot. But now they're actually just gathering all 5 members up to hit this B site. They already have full control of the area. Bomb is going to be going down any moment now to retake 5-on-5, and Sam with the deagle. He has been so deadly with any gun in his hand, it feels like, and he's already started to chip at the armor of North's post-plant positioning.
With no utility, there shouldn't be a way in, and Indeed is looking rather desperate at this point. Another frag coming in from Automatic. Oh my god, they're really making an argument for this one. 2 players left, MSL and AZ stuck on the defense. AZ getting tagged from the back from all angles. Daps is the one to finish him off. Is this MSL against Daps? The 2 brains of the team, the 2 leaders juking it out here. Rifles in hand, AK for Daps as he looks for it. He gets it, that's insane. What a retake. That shouldn't happen. They had no business. Does he have time here on the defense? This is going to be really close without a kit. Oh god, he's just barely got it. No, he doesn't have it.
No.
That's so close.
Oh, that's a gut punch, man.
Man, he had me convinced. I thought that he had that in the bag.
Which would have been another ridiculous round for them to win if we're being honest. Because remember, they won the pistol round despite the fact that they got totally faked out. Sam pulls off a crazy individual play to win that, and they almost did it again. This time was Automatic with the deagle. He's such a good deagler, man. Even in his Cloud9 days, you could just see the power he had with that weapon throughout the years. And he brought it out that round and almost gave his team a chance to win, but just not quite enough time on the clock.
Huge damage. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Everyone dead.
But this does finally force Gen.G to save is the big thing. So North hopefully can kind of redeem that in a round like this where they should win it clean.
Yeah, just getting 1 kill here is so much. That's 6 kills across the last 2 rounds. And what normally makes these rounds so awful for the CT side is the fact that you don't really feel like you have a good position to do economic damage. But again, you know, effectively 6 kills in those 2 rounds is huge. That means that North don't pull away too far in terms of an economic advantage now that Gen.G can finally get in with a buy. So that they've done everything they possibly could without winning a round to give themselves a really solid shot here.
Yep. So we are seeing pretty much a default loading for North, though it is Gate actually starting off in B apartments, which will be coming underpass, which is pretty common for this team. So, yep, default that you'd expect from MSL. That's always going to start a half for the most part in gun rounds and just kind of feel things out. Again, AZ back into a role where he's going to be a lot more active and taking map control and taking entries. Again, he is one of the more successful players in opening duels. I think he's like top 5 opening kills per round, so he's really taken on that role and done well for North so far this event. Can he keep it up? As he is, again, trying to work something here from middle. Got Gade from the underpass, going to be an assistant. Do see the boost, though, from Sam. And Sam, man, I feel like I've been saying his name quite a lot today.
Yeah. Well, he is having quite a series. He's really coming into himself at the moment, that's for sure. He's found his feet, he's found his stride on this team, at least at this tournament. And North starting this round with a man down after their default. And Dabs is still looking for some info mid. After you get a pick like that in the mid round, you can kind of just settle back into some safer positions. You don't need the information as much as you already have an advantage in numbers, but their utility is very low. So that is a problem. Gen.G need to try to prevent a post-plant scenario from happening if they possibly can.
Yeah, Kusta might be asked to make something happen here as soon as they start coming into that smoke into connector. And indeed, he was good for 1, but that's not going to be enough. Great trading from North as they will now get to the A site. Automatic being flashed off from trying to flex his AWP to stop anything from happening. But luckily for him, Bentet and Sam were up to the task, and they'll actually finish off the round. Great little recovery there from Gen.G. After those first 2 kills went the way of North on that connector push, it was looking a bit grim, but those 2 really responded well and actually keep this game close.
It's really huge as well to be able to shut down Catwalk, especially with that bench now, because again, it just really changes the dynamic for the CTs. You need to invest more to have as good of a defense. And so it's cool to see those boosts, to see that success from Som there in that difficult position. And they needed the kills early with the lack of utility that they had, and they found it. They found a way to get it. Yep. They got it. And now North are in the economic doldrums.
Yeah, it's North in a tough spot. There's no doubt about that. They're going to try to eco their way into B. They are able to get out and get some space, and Gade actually does find Bentet, but Sam, the man himself, actually only good for 1. This is getting scary, but now he's up for some more. Gets another there on MSL. He's got Kusa's help now also, so they should be taking care of it now. Should, being the key word.
It is really hard not to be a fan of Som right now, what he's doing. What? AZ, can you please just not? Can you stop? Can you just don't do stuff like that, please?
No.
It's not allowed.
I want to see that replay of that shot, even if they don't win the round, because that was ridiculous.
It's just not. It's not how the game is supposed to work.
No.
He's broke the game. Kirby has a chance in this one. It's 1v2. He's got lots of time. They don't really have his position on lockdown. They're giving him some space so that they can play a high percentage position around the bomb and play with one another. And there you go. Automatic finds the tiniest of gaps there. Pixel angle is able to catch Kirby, and that's going to be another round going the way of Gen.G.
Okay, here it is.
That doesn't. He's aiming on him. The bullet shouldn't go where you're aiming when you're completely airborne. That's just outrageous. Please, Valve, please.
Just think if you're the guy on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, it's so
He's like, I'm making plays, I'm getting some kills, and I die to that?
Yeah, it's not cool, man.
That's pretty unreasonable.
Get him out of here.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So North have the lead.
Timeout.
Still. It's a labored one.
They got 4 creeks in this buy. They're serious. It's a serious statement.
And these 2 rounds in a row from Gen.G, they're chipping away at North. They have a chance to tie things up. And they still now have a hope at a 2-0 series. The way things are playing out, I would not put it past them at this point. It's been a pleasant surprise, Gen.G, this tournament. I didn't know what to expect. There wasn't much data out there to work with, and they've shown up strong.
Fast mid-aggression coming in from Gen.G. Kusta decimates AZ. The trades are going to be all over the place here, but it is going to be a tie in terms of the numbers at the end, after all is said and done. When the dust settles, 3v3, and Liberty's taken here. You can see the push comes out of Palace. Kirby knows there's so much disruption in mid. That's his moment to go, and he makes it count. Daps now has so much to worry about, and I don't know if he's been spotted towards the stairs position, but he certainly feels the pinch. So I'm trying to create some relief for him as he jumps out of the window, looks the wrong way. And now Daps has it all to do. Oh, he wins the 1v1, but there's 2 more players to go, and he is 13 HP.
And there's so much time, and they have bomb, and they have free access to B. Daps able to get the AWP. Not a bad weapon to have when you have such low health, but Daps is definitely not known for his sniping prowess, so it's going to be tough, but he might get the 1v1 at the B site. Also have to worry about getting backstabbed. I don't know, it's tough. That grenade obviously gives away his position, but it gets the kill, but not to stop the bomb plant, unfortunately. If he could have done that, that could have created a lot of options. But now he has the 1v1 Gen.G, who's in the perfect position for that bomb plant. That probably knows that he's either there or B apartments, but he still has to take the peak just right. This is going to be a nice incendiary to push Gen.G off the angle, and he's going to stick this diffuse. Will it be enough time, though? Gen.G pushes the fire, he had enough health to do it. And that's going to be another round for North.
Oh, man. I was really hoping Daps would hold the flames there, because if he's gambling on that position, and as you mentioned, the strongest argument was for that position. Once he throws the molly, Cajun actually has to run into it. So he would know at that point that he's going to go for that swing. I was really hoping Daps would go for that, but either way, North, they're hanging on by their fingernails here.
Yep. And now they have a lower buy against, too, because Gen.G are just kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, kind of forcing up here and now. A Scout and M4, some upgraded pistols, that's about it. If they lose this, they have the full save. North gets the 14 for free. It's looking like North are in prime position to force that third map, which would be Nuke, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a fun battleground for these 2 teams, considering what we've seen from them, and kind of knowing the past of like Danish teams and Nuke and MSL on the map. And Gen.G obviously had a good look on it earlier. So that would be quite a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for you to say, because I know you're not always
a Nuke fan.
Not always the Nuke fan, and I know it's always.
I just want more of the series, is what I want, because it's been fun thus far. Lots, very close games, cool performances.
Great matchup, for sure. And we're going to see that connector presence pretty committed from Gen.G, keeping 2 players out there. As you mentioned, they need to make plays here, trying to dive through the smoke, going for a risky one. It's not going to pay off this time, but it is a 4v4. They are causing North to use more utility in the middle position, which might expose them a little bit more later on. And automatic, speaking of which, exposes Gen.G, finds a great timing for the scout peek. He makes it count there, gets a 4 versus 3 for his team, and now there's problems. Big rotation to A.
Is it going to happen, Dan? It might. Force going to come into play?
It very well might.
Does seem that way, doesn't it? It's just going to be up to Kierby, MSL, AZ, but Daps has that up-close ramp position. Timing, though, and he gets the kill onto AZ anyhow. That's impressive. And he's not done just yet. Does a lot of damage to MSL, forcing him to fight with low health, and he won't be long for this world. Gen.G, they are so scrappy. Even in rounds they have no business winning, they either get the win or do damage, and that's been happening all series long.
What's cool here as well, again, is another spot where if you've got analysts doing some great work for your team, what your analysts can often tell you is, in certain situations, what rotations are most likely to expect from the other team. So, for example, very common scenarios your analysts might be looking out for in demos is, okay, 4v, at the end of the mid round, once the team has run their default, got their mid control, how many players do they have left alive at that point? And do they have connector or catwalk control? If no, and there's 4 players, they very often rotate into the A attack. And that's actually quite a common response, generally speaking. So,
yeah. One thing we haven't seen from North yet, and they're not going to be able to do it this round because the utility's not there and the guns aren't there, is just we haven't really seen them do any elaborate set pieces. It's mostly been kind of default plays. It's mostly been scrambles. I know MSL's probably got some of those, written up, so I feel like that's probably something they're going to have to go to soon. Try to change things up a little bit. But Gonna be the eco push this time at B.
Okay, it's not looking good here for North, trying to move forwards. That defensive smoke from Som is always a good one. And Bented on the other side with the Galil, obviously providing the big red stop sign. And North will have to... This is such an awful position. You see that molly come in, and it's just... Once you're locked out of B, and the other team knows that you're invested fully there, they know where, they know everywhere where you can be.
Yep.
And it's basically just 2 places.
Yeah, there was never really many chances for North in a round like this one, but whatever they were are now eradicated, you have to feel, as they're all gathered up here, looking to come up connector, but that's in the perfect position to handle this. Good for one, allows Bentet to swing off Cat to finish things off, and we're tied up again. Very reminiscent to Dust 2 with these close score lines towards the end of the map, and again, the option for Gen.G to 2-0 and move on here and now is right out there, and I think the crowd, if I had to guess, would probably love to see that.
Oh, for sure. There it is.
Yeah. It's always
that's
risky.
what we like to hear. Absolutely. But I definitely have to say, I think Gen.G, that we're seeing some great performances from them so far individually, and that's what's really keeping them in the running. They've had so many great individual moments. I think North is playing some great, consistent, strategic Counter-Strike. They're running into this team that's just clutching out of their minds. And here comes a quick balcony pop. Try to get that bomb planted. It's going to work out quite nicely. Oh my god, they get a double kill. Oh god, there's so many dinks happening from those pistols. They might have a chance at the round now. Bentet looking after this jungle position. Som just forces his way through. Gade goes down. Don't think he expected to lose a battle like that. Som seems hard to deny in this game. And now it's a 2v2. The scout could be instrumental from MSL. He's always finding good positions for it as the retake comes through. Flash for CT, for the peak there for Som. Beautiful teamwork that deals with MSL, and Bentet's got the coverage to Cajun. And they'll retake it, but that was a great round from North.
Yeah, they did so much damage. They got a bomb plant. I'm pretty sure that was mostly Glocks. I don't know if there's anything else involved in that I could recall. So that is pretty nasty that it got that close. I'm sure that Gen.G are probably breathing a huge sigh of relief after what was a very stressful situation, as they are still holding that lead, 13-12. Tactical pause from MSL. They have plenty of money to buy. He'll get his AWP. Rifles up for everyone else. And so, yeah, again, I'm kind of curious. This will be some of the most utility they've had in quite some time. If they want to go for just the default again, as they've kind of favored, which, again, no surprise when you consider MSL's history, but it also just feels like it'd be nice to see some flair from them, something different. It's hard to gamble yourself on a set piece when you're behind and there's so much on the line. You kind of want to give yourself as many chances as possible, which means that you play your default out and you get to just kind of react to things and you kind of get to go through your flow chart. Whereas if you go for a set piece, it's all in on that. And if it doesn't work, then you're probably losing the match. So we'll be curious to see what side they go with. It looks like they are indeed opening up very mid-heavy. It's not quite a default. There's no presence B apartments. They're funding all their players through middle, and it looks like they want to go heavy connector.
That's actually really interesting because Gen.G are playing heavy A ramp and they've got to play a palace, so they could give up the site and actually deny a lot of post-plant positions. It could get a little bit scary for North if they commit into that A play, but they all going...
Double window.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane, isn't it? AZ and Gate up in there. Cajun B's close by as well, under the window.
So this is interesting. And they go through into ladder room with one of those boosted players. Another will just hold window. This is actually pretty dangerous for Gen.G. The good thing is, though, is that they have a ramp control, so they can get that kill on that peripheral player, and then they hold that if they want to launch back onto the site, even if North spill in through jungle and window. They have that anchor point at A ramp, and that could be a big problem for North as well. So they actually drift off Kirby for a bit and put him in the palace. So this is... There's a lot of weird chess moves going on the board right now. I'm not sure how it's going to funnel out in the end.
Gen.G's lack of presence you can also read as a really passive setup where they have one outside the rat hole and so on, but I can't go into that. Bentek gets a swing, the double finds the timing. It couldn't be more perfect, and he'll escape as well through the rat hole there as he has to get rid of the vent by shooting it, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. North now making their way towards B. It's the last-ditch attempt, and some will shut that down. MSL doesn't know where to look. And doesn't look like there's really anything else to be done here. Great peek from Cajun. He's got to find 4 more kills or a bomb plant in 20 seconds. That doesn't sound very likely. And indeed, he'll get double peeked and finished off. And I was going to say, Dust, with the lack of presence from Gen.G, you could actually read that as, if you're North, as 2 players on B and then playing really passive outside of the A site. which tends to happen if a team sometimes gives up mid entirely.
Yep.
And then obviously the A play makes a lot of sense, but you don't expect.
Tom is out here just
Tep.
slaying, by the way. Just want to point that out. He came into this series number 6 rated player in the tournament, and so far this series he has been absolutely tearing it up. He had such big impact on the first map, despite not having like the best overall numbers, I guess you could say. But this map, he's again approaching 30 and having just a big time. And here we go, North last-ditch effort to try to stop Gen.G from getting series point. They'll be barreling into the A site as quickly as possible with some minimal utility down. But they've already lost one member before this bomb has been able to get planted, and they don't really have safe passage to get it in to actually get it down. And it gets caught by Kusta through the smoke, adding insult to injury.
And now the smokes are going to dissipate. They don't have anywhere to fall back. They have to attack. It's the only thing they can do. And that's a fantastic, that is such a fantastic shot from Gen.G. That could make all the difference here. 3v3, they have no right to win this round given the amount of disadvantages that North are working with, and they're making it look possible. Speaking of which, I don't know how Som makes that one look possible. Som is doing so much damage. This guy just cannot be stopped. Any duel that he takes, he wins. And that's the defuse coming through from Daps. Very well done for Gen.G to recover that one. But even, I mean, better still to a certain extent, because North, again, they had so much playing against them. The fact that they made it look somewhat doable is impressive. But ultimately, they are looking... They're staring down the barrel of defeat here, Dust.
Yeah, Gen.G are moments away, it seems, from locking in a grand finals appearance in their debut event as a team. That is very exciting, and I'm sure the crowd is starting to feel it because it's about to happen unless North can strike here. This is their last chance. They do have a nice full buy, and they are setting up for something different. They've actually put Kierby in B apartments, even though he's a normal default A player. So that's a bit different. And again, I think they're trying to run a little bit of a set piece. They have plenty of utility. So let's see how it goes.
Nemsel's got a forward position already. That's really strong. Obviously can deal that ticket peak. Looking for it as his teammates progress. They haven't made their way to the site just yet, and that's the key. Got to get towards the site. There's the flashbang. Just at the perfect moment for Gay to get forward to take down Automatic, but the trade comes through for Kusta. Still holding on to Stairs, still holding on to Connector. As AZ now has to go back. The B bomb site's been opened up. This is the long con here for North as they go for the big rotation, and there's so much on Kirby. He's got to clear space here as he moves towards the market. He's going to try to hold on to this position, and he's cleared the rest of the site. His teammates have to make it through. They've got to worry about under. They've got to worry about the big flanks. This is a scary situation. Big kills coming through.
Yeah, you have to feel like this one's over with. Bomb planted. Other 2 CTs are definitely just saving these guns. They still have plenty of money to buy up next round, so they'll just want to save these over. No real chance at retaking this. So North, they do just hang on. They are still in the picture.
What a round. I mean, this looked like they were really committing into A, and they somehow managed to actually find a plan B out of it, quite literally.
Absolutely. That's why I was wondering, like with Kirby being B apartments at a Gen.G, you know, Kirby is a guy who's going to go for more plays in Gen.G usually. Like even though he's a peripheral player, he's a more active one. So when I saw him in B apartments and I saw him like really getting aggressive, I'm thinking, okay, either he's going for a really aggressive flank or they're trying to set up a fake for later on down the road. And they're trusting Kirby, a guy who has entry power, to be that guy leading the way into B. And now he's even getting the guns down, so no weapons saved for Gen.G. They still do have the money to buy, though. It just would have been nice to have a little bit extra spending money for utility and for the future if they have to go a couple of more rounds. But yeah, this
is so far a great game, as you said, stylistically and everything else. It's been super entertaining. We all want to see the third map, and you know what? It looks like North they're really threatening an overtime right now because that was a great round.
You know, I heard you like overtime, Stan.
I mean, if they win this round, Gen.G have 0 cash in the bank, so technically North only really need to win this round. The next one should be easy if they win this one.
I mean, we're no strangers to overtime, Dan.
Absolutely, and you know what?
Let's do it.
If North have a big strat, like, you know, something that they're very confident in, or something that they've already run, which was very strong, this is the round. This is the round to do it.
Let's see some good Counter-Strike. It's been great Counter-Strike so far to kick off today. You couldn't have asked for better, CS, I feel. Just really tight games. Both teams with so much to fight for, kind of debuting new lineups. Our second event for North, I guess, with MSL back at the helm, and they want to get off to hot starts with these newer teams, and getting a Grand Finals appearance here would certainly be a step in the right direction. And the North, again, just opening up, back to their default, back to their roots, Gade coming through underpass pretty quickly. Automatic, though, is in a different spot. He's playing that aggressive B apartments position with AWP. Could catch Gen.G well off guard. Ooh, it's tense. Gen.G hasn't quite tested the waters just yet. But you have to feel like we're on the precipice of seeing this engagement. But so far, Gen.G, he's a little bit weary of it. That smoke will further kind of pull him away as he wants to shore up underpass.
And Gen.G have an aggressive A ramp setup. They don't have much utility in this round, so that's one of the reasons why they're trying to play aggressively there. Because again, no utility or low utility means bad retake potential. So you want to try to prevent a retake being necessary. And here comes the play through connector. We haven't quite seen this dynamic. Again, A ramp is held onto. Kusta will go down, but do they understand that Daps is there as well? They got the site pretty easily. They must be suspicious that there could be another player A ramp. The bomb will go down here. And again, the retake potential is not amazing. Some trying with that bench to get the pick, but Gen.G, he's got the assist there for his teammate. Daps gets discovered at A ramp, and now there doesn't really seem to be anything going for Gen.G. They are hightailing it out of there, I think, to try to get to a save, keep Automatic's AWP in his hands. That is the mission now.
Going to be so hard, though. KRB already flanking through behind Market. They already have B apartments positions as well with 2 players, so saving these 2 weapons is going to be incredibly difficult. Bentet working his way forward. There's a couple of members coming right at him. He does find both of them, however. That opens up an avenue to get the hell out of here and keep these 2 weapons, and they need them. That's for certain, because as you noted earlier, the money is very low now. They actually have double op, and they can actually buy 1 rifle for Bentet. And Sam, excuse me, I'll just call him Sam, but I think it's like Samo or something like that. Either way, he is going to be able to have that second AWP, which is no surprise. He's a guy that uses that second op a decent bit.
That's actually interesting because North, you know, in trying to get those kills, they dropped an AWP. So I am curious if that's going to be a difference maker here. You mentioned that they have the secondary AWP, which we haven't seen too much. Automatic, that mid-aggression really panning out well for Gen.G to take an early advantage in this round. Again, they win this round, they're through to the grand finals, and North will be done.
Indeed, they will. It'll be a very disappointing group stage. I said very similar to Leipzig. I think they got to the exact same stage, and Leipzig going to have the exact same result going out in that 5th to 6th place. Which, I mean, North has had so many woes, and they've tried to make roster changes. They lost their best player. Like, there's a lot going over there. They had a rebranding process that not many people took a liking to, so man, oh man, this would be another tough pill to swallow, but it'd also be such a exciting time for Gen.G as we do see the push coming in through connector. Dash with the CZ, good for 1, and Sam coming in as well. Automatic lighting the scoreboard also. It's all on Gade.
High flash, Automatic, he's going to nail it, he's going to seal the deal, and there you go, Gen.G through to the grand finals. North, unfortunately for them, a disappointing result. As far as they're concerned, a tenured team, the return of MSL, the brains, they needed an in-game leader, they got him, but maybe it's too soon. Maybe it's Gen.G's time here. They came into this event, no one knew what to expect us, but we're seeing a team with some great cohesion, some fantastic rising talent that we've yet to see perform at this kind of a level, doing a fantastic job.
And so for our only event that's taking place actually in the USA, we are guaranteed basically USA representation in the grand finals here in the first DreamHack Open on the West Coast. And it's going to be an All-America's grand final because no matter who wins the next best of 3, we had that America's representation there as well. So that's pretty cool stuff for the hometown crowd. Definitely appreciate you tuning in. We have another semifinal to go, but first we have to take a break and then get to the desk. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit.
Thinking about the last time that I saw you with your head in the clouds, stepping over rainbows, playing pinball with the stars. I've been thinking about the first time when we fell together head over heels. We thought it'd be forever, guess it wasn't meant to be. Now I can't believe it's over. just to move on. Get that boy out of your head. People tell me just to be strong, but I'll just fall apart instead. Wish I could turn the clock back. We could fall in love again. We could get back on the right track. Could be lovers till the end. Now I can't believe it's over. Yeah, I can't believe it's gone. Does forever mean forever? I don't wanna be
And welcome back. I would normally say I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Gen.G picking up the win 2-0.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see the 2-0 happening. Predicted Gen.G with you, but
2-0 Gen.G, baby.
kind of, I guess. Misspelled a couple words.
BB.
Spell check. Boss,
Come on now. I don't have Grammarly on my notepad, sorry.
But wow, that was a very impressive series from a new team in Gen.G taking out North. I mean, we said they had a chance in these aim-based maps. I thought they played them so well. There's so many close rounds that could have went either way. Even the rounds that Gen.G lost, those Daps clutches, could have easily went in Daps' favor on Mirage. I loved everything about this series. It was a treat to watch.
I have to agree with you, a treat indeed, and I'm so glad to see Bentet finally showing up, especially right when it matters the most in the semifinals. Hopefully he does carry that on over to the grand finals, but Som carrying on his impactful performance from yesterday all the way on to today, it was an impressive series.
Som and Bentet had so much impact.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, Som's success in entry duels continues. I think he's 8-2 in this series. I mean, just ridiculous numbers. On the other side of the coin, I mean, North, MSL, I have to commend him for his aggression, right? He's so confident in the way he plays. But I don't like how their Opper had took over 20 opening duels in this series, right? He's taking so many more opening duels than the rest of his teammates. And I think that's why you have players like Gage, Gen.G, AZ. You want them to take those duels, and just that way you're not, throwing your biggest investment away so quickly into the round. He was actually pretty good in those opening duels. It's just, that's too many for your Opper to take.
The growth of Som is absolutely unbelievable, considering not that long ago, people are like, really? Som? Like, he had a short stint with some other teams and it wasn't working. He's so young. How could he possibly be the player that they're looking for the future? Look at the scoreboard.
Omega Lol M.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess when I'm looking at both of these teams in that server, the biggest difference between all of the 10 of these players is the scrappiness coming out of Gen.G versus North. You saw how structured North is, but when it came down to the nitty-gritty, just looking back on that pistol, 2 versus 2, Gen.B and his mate in that market, if it was Gen.G's side of things, guaranteed both of these guys are scrappy, they're forcing the issue, trying to take that duel to 2v1, but North, they're very careful, they're clearing all these angles, and they need that sort of scrappiness, that edge to get in there and be bloodthirsty, and we just didn't see it in this server.
I love the scrappiness. Speaking of scrappiness, I love the scrappiness coming out of Gen.G we've seen this entire event, right? Down 13-5 against ENCE. Let's not forget that's how they kicked things off. Losing both pistols on North's map pick, still coming back and winning that map. Kind of convincingly, in my opinion. And then this Mirage map, it just looked like they were so annoying in middle. For lack of a better word, their utility usage, the way they peaked, aggressively taking fights to top mid, nade harassment towards the window. It was really nice to watch. Honestly, I'm so impressed by this team.
You say relatively easy in that first map, but even the scores, 16-13, 16-14, it's not like North played terrible. Christine, was there something that maybe could have pushed them over that line, just that last inch they needed?
It's got to be the bloodthirstiness, man. And for Gen.G's side of things, every single one of their matches has looked like they had to really tooth and nail fight, gritty, to be able to come over the edge. And with North, it seems like they should have had control in most of their matches. It seemed like their default, their 2-1-2s, they're spread across the map. Everything looked good, but when it came down to when it mattered to get the kills, they just couldn't convert.
Well, we do have Mr. Timothy Ta standing by, automatic, after an impressive victory there on the main stage, punching your ticket to the grand finals. Congratulations. Do you realize that the last time a North American team won a DreamHack Open, it was you with Cloud9 at Denver in 2017.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago indeed. And the last time they even played in a final was in 2018. So you guys have already made history here with your first run on land with the team. How does it feel as a roster? Are things really gelling together? Is this the low end of what we should expect? Is there more in the future? Are you trending upward?
I definitely think that there's more that we haven't showed, and we're just getting used to playing with each other on LAN because, you know, when you're practicing a lot, like, you don't really know how people are going to handle pressure and stuff like that. So I think we're just, we're just seeing how it goes, and thankfully it's going well.
What's the most impressive thing about your team in general? Like, what do you think is the thing you would personally highlight about your teammates or maybe a specific teammate in general?
I mean, everyone has like such great qualities that it's hard to just pinpoint one. But I would just say that our communication is really good, like in and out of the game. Like, we're good with, you know, like coming up with agreements with each other for certain situations, or just even expressing frustrations. I think we're really good at that.
Now, you guys on the desk have a few questions as well. I'm not going to hold you up. Go ahead and fire away.
Yeah, Tim, I wanted to know how you felt personally hopping back onto that AWP. I know you were a rifler for so long, and you had a lot of success last year with that AWP, and then with that rifle. What do you prefer?
I definitely prefer AWPing more than rifling, because I think that I can have a bigger impact on the game, and I think that I'm really good at controlling like rotations and knowing where everyone's going to be, since I was a lurker as a rifler. That being said, it's been hard to transition back, because when you're AWPing, it's more mental than anything, and you have to have a different mentality. You have to be like on every single game, whereas with a rifler, as a rifler, you can be more like just doing your part, and so that's been the biggest change for me.
Tim, I know in Cloud9, particularly during your major run, you had a lot of say, like as a secondary in-game leader, a lot of control over what happened in the round, rotations, and even researching your opponents. How does that factor into this team? Do you do that same thing? Also, second question, are you still in Excel gang?
Well, to answer your second question first, I'm not on Excel anymore. But in terms of the in-game leading stuff, or the second in-game leading stuff, I think I'm still definitely doing that, especially in mid-round situations. I think that's where I thrive. But I'm doing it less because I'm AWPing, and I'm more just, you know, like micromanaging a hit, like telling people what I'm going to hold and what they should do and stuff like that, and just letting Damien do his thing because he's a great caller.
Last question, and then we'll go ahead and let you go. When we sat down at the beginning of the show and spoke with Jason Lake, he had said about his team that he didn't expect to find success so quickly. Do you agree in regards to your team? Did you guys think that you would be at this point today, or did you think it was going to take you some time to get to this point?
I had no idea, to be honest, because we had only played online qualifiers, and it's a lot different playing online than on LAN. But I knew that our team had potential to be this good, and I think we can even play better. So yeah, I'm not surprised that we played so well, but I think there's more to come.
Well, congratulations again. We're going to go ahead and let you go, and we are going to throw things to a break. When we come back, Complexity and Furia. Could we have an all-NA final here in Anaheim? Stay tuned to find out.